Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with a light breeze. It'll be warm with an afternoon high near 88. Tonight, clear skies and calm winds, below around 64. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine. It'll be breezy and hot with an afternoon high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
This is the Adam Carricker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carricker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carricker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carricker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carricker.
Honesty. And producer Jake and I have a whole lot of fun in the process. Of course, we're going to talk Husker sports, college football, sports, in general. The fastest hour in radio is back. And I got a question. I got a serious question. Does Nebraska need to go 4-0 in October? And I'll be honest with you, my initial answer was no, they don't need to. But I've heard some other people talk about this. And I'll be honest with you, I thought they made some interesting points. So I'm going to ask the fine folks at home. What's that text number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
Again, it never changes, but just for those who didn't know. Does Nebraska need to go 4-0 in October? I asked a question earlier this week. Does Nebraska, is Michigan State a must-win game for Nebraska? Now, we dubbed it a must-not-lose game last week when we chatted during the bye week, Jake and I. I got the response from so many people. Every game's a must-win game. I don't get that response. I have tried to understand it. I get what you're saying. Take it one game at a time. Every game is the most important game of the season because it's the next game of the season, and that's the game that matters most. But it's a broader perspective question. It's a bigger picture question. I'm not acting like a coach or player right now who has to take it one game at a time. I'm looking at the season as a whole. Because if you tell me every game's a must-win game, then we have to go undefeated or the season's a failure. And I don't agree with that. And we are so far from that, it's redonkulous. It's redonkulous to phrase it that way if that's how you view it. We have to go undefeated. So I don't think that's what people mean, but that's how it comes across to me. So my question is, does Nebraska need to go 4-0 in October? Because you look in November, we're going to be dogs to Penn State and USC. And we're going to be huge favorites against UCLA, but we're also going to travel multiple time zones, which Big Ten teams have not done well in, which makes what Oregon just did at Penn State even that much more impressive. But we should beat UCLA, just like we should beat Northwestern. It shouldn't even be close. And we probably will be favored versus Iowa, but let's be real. It's going to be a one-score game. We know how those have gone, and we know how games have gone against Iowa. So my question is, you come back to October. We were supposed to have a jump this year. We were supposed to have certain things go on this year. Some of those things I bought into, some of those things I discussed and moved on from because I didn't buy into. It was, as Jake and I said 4,000 times over the course of the spring and winter, we're going to wait till we see it. And then we even made a joke because we said it so often. I think people got tired of hearing it, but it was like, here's what we expect and what we think is fair. I predicted 9 wins. I think it's fair to expect 8 wins. Magically, out of thin air last week, I decided to give myself another game called the bowl game to get to those 8 and 9 wins, but it works mathematically, even though technically everyone knows that's not what I meant, but it's okay. We'll get there as time goes along. But my question is, does Nebraska need to go 4-0 in October? It's going to be windy on Saturday. You know that helps Michigan State. That helps the team that struggles in pass defense playing the team that passes the ball really well. They struggle defending the pass. We pass the ball well. The trenches is not our strength. You're going to have to stop the run or run the ball more in the wind. Although Matt Rule said he's not that concerned about the wind today. Depends on how windy it is, I suppose. I'm hearing 40-mile-per-hour type gusts potentially. That probably helps Michigan State. I'll be honest with you. I put out a score prediction earlier this week. I've already decided to change it. Are we getting any texts there, Jake? What are people saying?
Cubsker says we need to go at least 3-1 this month with the close game with USC.
That's in November, but I get what he's saying.
Yeah. Scott from Bancroft said, will we? Unfortunately, no.
What do you think, Jake? Do we need to go 4-0?
I wouldn't say need to. I think if you want 9 regular season wins, you might need to go 4-0. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are. If you want to go to the college football playoffs, absolutely, you need to go undefeated here this October. So I think it just depends on kind of what your goals are and what your look is into it. I don't think it should be viewed as that way in my mind. Just because I think that the pie high expectations or hope to get to the playoffs. Sure, we all want that. That's the goal of every team. The Nebraska football team is going to say the same thing. So, there's a certain line to be drawn there. But for me, I think the healthy growth of a program, or as far as, taking steps forward and all that, I think Nebraska could afford a loss this month. And I say that in part because if it does happen, I don't think there should be this freak out panic deal that happens if you lose a game against an upstart Maryland or Minnesota on the road. I think those ones. Now, if you lose to Northwestern at home and we haven't seen, then there might be more panic. Michigan State this week, I think there's going to be a little bit of panic if you lose it. So it kind of depends on how it looks, but I don't think Nebraska needs an undefeated October.
I'm going to tell you right now, we better not lose to Northwestern or UCLA. You know, you want to know how many minutes of a game that UCLA has led so far this year?
I do want to know.
0. They have never led in a game. You remember last year we talked about Kent State?
Oh, yeah.
They led for, 1 minute the entire season? At that point, like we were 10 games in. I didn't look up to see how Kent State finished the season. But 10 games in, they had led for 1 entire minute of the entire season up to that point. I don't know how they finished. Maybe they won every game after that the rest of the year. Doubtful. Like, we better beat Northwestern and UCLA. And I know I brought up the time zone thing, but oh my gosh, with the excuses at some point. Just like, we're going to hear it. We're probably going to bring it up. We're going to Maryland. We're going to travel multiple time zones. Then we're going to come back. And on a short week on a Friday night, go to Minnesota. It's going to be brought up. I don't care. Everybody deals with stuff. Everybody has stuff. USC just played a game at 9 a.m. Pacific time. By the way, that's kind of brutal on the scheduler's part. So they literally went from having the latest game in all of college football the week before to the earliest game, their time zone-wise, in all of college football. That's a little brutal. You know what USC fans have said? I don't care, you lost. And frankly, you managed the end of the game pretty poorly and gave Illinois the ball back with a great kicker and too much time on the clock, and that's why you lost. And that's what they're going to focus on. Guess what? It's all a part of sports. It's all a part of competition. It's all a part of football, and the fans are right. Here's part of what brought this up. So if you look at teams that have not gone to major bowl games in the Big Ten in recent history, so whatever you want to call them, not bottom feeders, not the upper echelon, like not Penn State, not Oregon, not Ohio State, teams like that, but like middle of the pack type teams. Nebraska's only won 25% of their games against recent Big Ten opponents. Out of their last 25 games, they've only won 25% of them. That made a non-major bowl game. So you made a bowl game, but it wasn't a major bowl game. Let me repeat that. We've only won 25% of our games against middle-tier Big Ten teams. Not Ohio State, not Penn State, not Oregon. We're 9-21 in our last 30 games in the Big Ten. Of the 9 wins, only 3 of those teams had a winning record. If we're going to show true improvement, true progress, like we are significantly getting better before we get really tested in November, I thought this was a fair question. Now, do I have an answer in mind? Yes. But I thought it was something that could be thrown out there because I've heard other people talking about it. I'm like, not a bad point, not a bad question. When we have been favored by more than a touchdown, more than 7 points, we've lost 25% of those games in recent memory. That's craziness. When you're favored by more than a touchdown, which to me is 6 points plus, the extra point should be automatic. So 7 points. And you lose 25% of those games. That's craziness to me. I'm not trying to be depressing. What I'm saying is if we're going to step back and look at this thing as a whole, in a vacuum, you lose one game to Michigan State. I'm not going to sit here and panic, but I am going to say, y'all better win every game the rest of October. I'm still looking at this year as a bottom line type year. You better win at least 8 games at the end of the year. You can't say everything that was said in the offseason and then not be at least a little bit better. And that is like legit the bottom of the barrel of what I consider to be acceptable. So I am being as generous as I can, Jake. We can be 7-5 and go win a bowl game, and I'll count it as better than last year because technically it's better. But when I said 8 wins, I meant 8-4 all offseason. When I said 9 wins, I meant 9-3. I did not say 9-3, but everyone knows I meant it. Now I'm trying to give as much leeway as I can to the program that I love so much, and I'm giving a bonus game. We're going to make a bowl game, right? I can assume that, right?
We better be.
Oh, okay, Thank you. I'm assuming we make a bowl game. Has anybody else commented on the do we need to go 4-0? Do we have to go 4-0? However we phrased it.
Yeah, 0778 says part of Rule's job is to win games we are supposed to win. The next 4 games should meet that definition. 2188 says need to go 1-0 this week.
No, we're looking big picture. Stop with that. Stop with that. Stop with that logical way of looking at things. I don't like it.
3082 says, a loss will lead to panic. 0326, same type of deal. Michigan State is a must-win to potential psychological fragility of the players and the fan base. 3-1 would be acceptable in October in his mind.
All I'm trying to point out with some of the stats that I've shared is the lack of success we've had with teams that we should be beating. With all due respect to teams like Minnesota and Maryland, Michigan State, who has had a couple of new coaches in recent history, which means they ain't been doing well. Northwestern. These are teams we have. I'm not going to read those things again. They're kind of depressing to me. The amount of games we've won versus the amount of games we've lost versus teams that we should be beating. These are teams that, let's be honest, our brand is significantly bigger than, and our roster is more talented than every single one of them. Year after year after year, we had the 4th best roster in the Big Ten. Whatever the original 3 order was, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, we were always number 4 and always number 1 in the Big Ten West, and we know how that went. Now Oregon comes in. Now USC comes in. So obviously they're factored into this mix now as well. But year after year after year, easy for me to say, the results did not match in the win column the talent that we had on the roster, at least not on paper. That needs to start happening. That's all I'm getting at. Like, it is time for that to start happening. Everything that was said all off season, it was exciting, it was fun. You ain't got a match at all. But let's do what should be done. When Nebraska joined the Big Ten, you would have said it was Michigan, Nebraska, Ohio State, Penn State. Then you would have had your next tier. Then you would have had your bottom tier. We're in that middle tier now, realistically, and we aren't winning as much as we should in that middle tier. And that's where I think we need to have a whole lot more success if we ever want to get in that realistic CFP conversation somewhere down the road. And that's October. That's October. That is what this month is about. We go to Maryland, who honestly, of the next 4 teams we play, may be the best team, which is crazy. They were terrible last year. They got raided by the transfer portal, and they're starting a true freshman quarterback, and look what they're doing. They may be the best team we play in the next month. Minnesota's had our number. Michigan State always plays us tough. Oh, what was the stat? I think it was our last 5 games. There was a combined point differential of 15 points. And that was it over the last 5 games. We got to find a way to get the job done. Now, to answer my own question, do we have to go 4-0? No. I really think we need to beat Michigan State because of what the one texter said. Psychological fragility. He obviously listens to things that I put out on social media because I've used psychological tests and I've used mental fragility multiple times over the course on social media. But I think it's a mental thing. If you just look at the schedule, beat Michigan State, we have to be able to mark Northwestern down as a win. And then if we're looking at just the bottom of the barrel of what's acceptable, can't believe I'm looking at things this way. Bottom of the barrel of what's acceptable. That's what we're chatting about. You just go 500 at Maryland and at Minnesota because you actually have to go on the road now at some point. Play a road game. 2 games you're probably going to be favored in. Well, it depends on what happens versus Michigan State. Just go 500 in those games. Beat Michigan State. You're healthy. You're fresh. You're at home. You're off the bye. You're a double-digit favorite. You should win Michigan State. And I don't care if you win by double digits or a single digit that just happens to be a 1. All you got to do is score 1 more point than the opponent. Sounds so easy, right? Then just go 500 at Maryland, at Minnesota, and then you should beat Northwestern. And you're sitting at 6-2. Then you look at November. To be clear, these aren't goals. The goal, it would be to go 4-0 in October, and then we chat about November at that point. But you go 3-1 in October. You're sitting at 6-2. All you got to do is go 500 in November. And one of those 2 wins that you would need to get would be UCLA should be a gimme, with all due respect to the Bruins, or whatever's left of them at this point. Like, getting 8 wins in the regular season is honestly beyond realistic. It is beyond realistic. It is insane how attainable that is. And then that 9th win that I predicted in the preseason could still come in the regular season. I'm allowing for us to even lose a game where we should be favored. Like, we're going to be favored in basically all these games outside of USC, Penn State, depending on how these games unfold over time. Who is favored, it obviously can change. And I'm predicting us to pull 0 upsets. Not predicting, but I'm saying if we pull 0 upsets and we don't even win every game we're supposed to, there's a 1-game mulligan in there, and you can go 8-4. And then you go to a bowl game. And you have a chance for a 9th win. I think it's beyond reasonable to win 8 regular season games and have a shot at a 9th win. Before we get out of here for this first segment, the noon hour of the Adam Carricker Show is brought to you by our good friends at Mulberry Barbecue. Now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and a 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their burn-in sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, half-smoked chicken, and much more, plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and a 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. All right. Jake, text line or you have anything before we get out of here for this first segment?
Yeah, a couple thoughts here from the text line. Somebody says, time to grab our jock straps and start winning games we should win. I don't care how, just win. So that's a way of phrasing it. 1671 says, we definitely need to beat Minnesota this year. So really looking for that victory.
If we look back, so I'm going to read this text. I just got a text that said, I disagree on 8 wins is acceptable. To be clear, I'm not saying I'm happy. I'm not saying this is what I want. I'm saying the bottom of the barrel of what's acceptable. There's a reason I phrase it that way, is 8 wins. Why? Because it's the least amount that we can show this season that we've at least gotten a little bit better from last season. It's the least amount of things we can do. By the way, next year's schedule gets a little bit tougher, and if we're going to keep getting better, I'm going to ask for 9 wins with a little tougher schedule. Just putting it out there.
A little tougher is an understatement. That schedule's a bear.
Hey, the same rules have to apply. I'm just saying. Now we're year 4 at that point. Here's the text. I disagree on 8 wins is acceptable. Is it an improvement? Yes. But it took millions and millions of dollars to bring in players and new coaches. All that to win 1 more game. That's not acceptable. If it was to go from 11 wins to 12 wins, then maybe, but 7 to 8, no. If you are spending big boy money, you need to be hanging with the big boys. That was Andy Jurassic. Thoughts, Jake? He makes a fair point. I'm trying to say what I think is acceptable versus what would actually have me happy and jumping for joy. And those are 2 different things. But go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just depends on where you're coming from. He does make a good point, but, everybody's spending money these days and looking for different types of ways to get money in. To your point about next year's schedule, that's what Nebraska needs to get over, this kind of this hump in front of them. I mean, this needs to be the year, because next year there isn't a bunch of UCLAs, Northwesterns, and Purdue's on the schedule. It's tough week in and week out. So they're going to have to earn whatever record is afforded to them. But with this schedule, what you want is to see Nebraska take that jump. You want that year 3 jump under Matt Rule. Then I can kind of see hoping to get to 9 wins. And I hope people aren't jumping off the bandwagon if they get 1 3-point loss to Michigan. You got to take care of these games. The problem that's kind of still sticks in my head is Michigan State from Matt Rule's first year, UCLA from last year. They've lost to some bad teams. Are they done with that?
So if we lose to Michigan State this weekend, we're 5-3. Isn't that what we were last year at this time?
Well, we'd be 4-3, right? Or we'd be 3-2.
Oh, that was that. Oh, I know what that was. Yeah, my mind was ahead of my mouth. Let me catch my mouth up to my mind. My mind was, if we go 500 in October, we'd be 5-3, and that's what we were at the same time last year, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going into a much tougher November. That is correct.
Yeah.
If you want any, let's be real, if you want any shot of getting 9 wins this year in the regular season, you got to go 4-0 in October, because you look at November, you're going to be an underdog twice. Then you got another team playing who we can beat, but has had our number in Iowa. So if you're looking for the millions that you spent and the new faces you brought in to take a little bit of a jump, just a little bit, 4-0 in October. That being said, if we lose to Michigan State I don't even know how it's going to play out yet. If we win, obviously it's all good. We're 4-1. We're actually feeling pretty good going forward. If we lose, I'm going to tell everyone not to panic. Unless we lose by 40, which, dear Lord, that won't happen. But at the same time, it's like, what's the bigger picture goal? I'm not talking about a jump right now. I'm talking about, what about Bob, that movie? I'm talking about baby steps, just baby steps, because at least you're taking steps in the right direction. You're not stuck in the mud, and dear Lord, you can't go backwards. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Are you ready to transform your body and your life in just 10 weeks? At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, our kickboxing challenge combines heart-pumping cardio, strength training, and proven nutrition coaching to deliver real results. Lose fat, gain strength, and feel more confident than ever. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Join the next Farrell's 10-week challenge starting October 11th and take the first swing towards a healthier, stronger you. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, results, not excuses. Join today, fxblincoln.com. That's fxblincoln.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The looking forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies for light breeze. It'll be warm with an afternoon high near 88. Tonight, clear skies and calm winds below around 64. And tomorrow, we'll see lots of sunshine. It'll be breezy and hot with an afternoon high around 90. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As a former Husker, as a player, I'm a bit of a health nut. Hydration and recovery, they do start at home. That's why we've teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. The soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, add a Culligan reverse osmosis. It's bottled quality water right at your tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love, go Big Red. I was sent another text, and the text said, Adam, what would you think if we lost to UCLA or Northwestern and beat Penn State or USC? First of all, my instant thought was, it's one of the reasons that college football is the greatest sport under God's hot sun. Also, I think Husker fans would lose their ever-loving mind. Now, what order does that happen in? It would be the other thing. Do we beat USC and then lose to UCLA? Or do we lose to Northwestern and then beat Penn State? Like, I need an order, because whatever happens last is what's going to stick with us the most. You got any quick thoughts? And then let's play a clip that we have from Dan Campbell that I think applies to football, sports, life, but specifically could also be applied to the Huskers as well. What are your thoughts, though, quickly, Jake?
I mean, that's just an insane world. It would be tough to say, and I would think the problem would be whoever we beat, USC, Penn State, they would be pretty worried about the team that just beat them, given the losses there. So, you know, you want to put it in a perfect way, like, okay, then they beat number 5 Penn State. I'm guessing if Nebraska loses to UCLA, Northwestern, they're not beating number 5 Penn State. Penn State's got their own problems.
We lost by 4,000 to Indiana and had the lead at Ohio State with 7 minutes to go in Columbus. That's why I love college football. You just never know what's going to happen. I will say this. All right, I spent all this time talking about baby steps. What's the bare minimum of success? So now we're going to have a little bit of fun before we play a Dan Campbell clip. You do realize that before USC comes in here for a night game, for an alternate uniform game, for a blackout game, that's going to be pandemonium. You realize they play like 5 ranked teams in a row. I'm just throwing that out there. You realize we have a bye before we go play Penn State. And the one thing I like about the Penn State game, I hate that their ground game is the number one thing they do. And do I have to really explain why I hate that based on what I've seen from this year's defense for us? But they don't really blow anybody out. So the odds are we're going to be within striking distance for most of the game. Even if it doesn't feel like the game's going that way, which it may or may not, we're probably going to be within striking distance on the scoreboard. A block punt all of a sudden, a kick return for a touchdown, a ball bounces funny, a bad call actually goes our way for once a millennium. I don't know, man. Or we could lose by 1,000. But I'm just saying, there's reason for optimism after I just spent 20 minutes talking about the bare minimum of what we need to do just to have an acceptable season. It's one of the reasons I love college football and I love Husker sports. All right, let's go ahead and let's roll that clip from Dan Campbell there, Jake.
Our hardest workers are our best players. It's not lip service. It's not fake. It's not our best players are our hardest worker. Go out and watch them practice. And it's like that every day. And so that's the standard. That's the standard. So if you're not up to that standard with the effort matching what our best players do, then you're not going to be around here very long. So that makes the rest of your guys, everybody just falls in line. Anybody that comes in or we acquire, the young guys, all of it, man. And that's the way we play. That's what we do. And our hardest workers are our best players. It's not lip.
I think that applies to Nebraska in so many ways. Number one, that's the way Matt Rule, when he got here, wanted to build the program. That's how he built Temple. That's how he built Baylor. Obviously, today's day and age of college football is a little bit different than when he got here 3 years ago. We can speculate all we want. There's probably a reason Micah Mazuka didn't play a lot last year. We know there's some reasons, for whatever reason, despite the talent, Elijah Pritchett has not seen the field much this year. Obviously, a lot of false starts, just being disciplined in general. By the way, I'm curious to see what opportunities he does or doesn't get this Saturday after the bye. I'm very curious to see it. Very curious to see it. 300-pound guys ain't walking through that door between now and the end of the season, but you got one sitting right there if you can get him going that can help you right now, that you paid a little bit of moolah to bring him in the door to begin with. Sometimes some guys are just so insanely talented. Those guys are rare. Guys like Babe Ruth, who could go out the night before and do whatever they wanted and then hit more home runs in a season than entire MLB teams back in the day. Much different day and age, much different era. By the way, he also led the majors in strikeouts during his career, too. I can't help but wonder, in my opinion, the greatest baseball player of all time. I've thought that ever since I was a kid. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Had he not done some of those things, how much better could he even have been? There aren't many guys like that in general, though. You talk to people who knew Kobe, people who knew Jordan, laser focused. And some of them were absolutely hated by their teammates because their teammates wouldn't practice or work at the same level, and they wouldn't tolerate it. And the teammates would not appreciate being held accountable to the level that they were being held accountable. Yet look at the results. I think that can apply to Nebraska. Your best players a lot of times are your hardest workers. Any thoughts or any texts along those lines there, Jake?
No text there, but yeah, it is. It can be. I always kind of think of leadership in different ways, right? Like you can lead by example, and the players that already have the spotlight, and that's when you kind of go back. You're talking about Kobe and Shaq. That was a big division between them. And it kind of gets to like, what's your goal? Is your goal as a, you're already living your best life, do what you want to do, kind of the Babe Ruth route of, I'm already made enough money to retire. I'm just having fun. I can do whatever I want. Or do you want to be the best that there is? And that was kind of Kobe's motivation, maybe against Shaq's. But so it's hopeful that Nebraska is in that place. That's the best, that's the best route to go for any football team.
Yeah, I bring up Kobe. I don't even bring up Shaq. Man, did they not get along for a long time. Shaq has openly talked about how he wouldn't do anything in the offseason and he'd just show up and he's like, I would use the early part of the season to get in shape. Do you have any idea how opposite of that Kobe is? It was Shaq when we played the clip when Butler was debating whether to play, and Shaq, remember, we played the clip. We held on to the clip for like 2 months before we played it. Jimmy Butler paying $50 million this past NBA season was deciding whether he wanted to play or not, and Shaq was the one defending him. You remember that?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to indict Shaq. But he puts his comments out there. They have a right to respond to it, just like people can respond to us. So there's a crossover there. Apparently, Shaq is just one of those dudes, just insanely talented. I played with the guy at the Rams. I couldn't believe. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame. Super Bowl champ. I couldn't believe how he did not work hard. He was one of the few offensive linemen to ever be drafted #1 overall, and I was like, holy smokes, this dude is huge. He moves well. He's insanely talented, and he does not work hard. There aren't a lot of guys like that, though. At all. Like, if I tried to think of all of them in the history, like, think about all the sports all throughout history, I don't know, maybe 2 dozen? Maybe? Your hardest workers, 99.9% of the time, are your best players. All right. A little bit of reaction today to Rule's short press conference. His press conferences tend to be shorter on Thursdays. Rule said he's not concerned about the wind, but knows will be a factor. Both teams have to play with it. So anytime somebody complains about, oh, it's hot, oh, it's cold, oh, it's windy, I'm like, isn't it windy, hot, cold for everybody? Yeah, isn't that true? Now, it does affect certain teams more than others. Like, I think it actually helps Michigan State because we're going to try to throw the ball more. Their pass defense it frankly sucks. And so it helps them because it makes it harder to throw the ball. Our trenches are the not strength of our team. So now you're going to have to run the ball and stop the run more. I think it actually helps them. And I wonder if the line on this game closes a little bit from double digits or 2 possessions down to, does it eke into the 8 range? Like 1 possession game by the time the game gets closer. He says the guys will be ready. All right, Demetrius Bell hurt his hamstring. His return is being delayed. On the recruiting trail, says they're making some noise, and they are. Number 3 recruiting class in the entire country very early on for 2027, but making some noise there. Wants to get MSU, Michigan State, off our back, just like with Wisconsin last year. Do we have like a losing streak to Michigan State? I know we have a really a long streak of insanely close games I've already talked about.
They've won the last 2. I wouldn't say it's like Minnesota or Wisconsin. Yeah, they won the last 2 in 2023 and 2021.
Okay. And says he expects our players to play really, really well. All right. Again, on Thursdays, rather short. Typically not as much stuff from there. You got any response to anything he said quickly?
No, I'm just glad to hear about Demetrius Bell. That was something I was kind of wondering. I don't know if somebody asked that or he brought that about, but his name again going into last year, they're expecting a lot from. That's packed wide receiver room, but it would be great. It will be great someday to see him get it back on the field with the Huskers.
It is an intriguing quarterback matchup. Everyone talked about Dylan Raiola and Bryce Underwood going into Michigan. Remember, Aiden Childs was a 5-star coming out of high school. Very highly touted, very highly recruited. So again, it's 2 5-stars going head to head. All right, Dylan so far in the year, 1,137 pass yards. Giles does more with his legs. He's passed for, let me see if I can read this, 868 yards. They both, their touchdown interception ratio combined is 20 touchdowns to 2 interceptions between the 2 of them combined. Dylan has 11 touchdowns, 1 INT. Aiden has 9 passing touchdowns, 1 INT. And actually, Aiden's completion percentage is higher than Dylan's. Dylan's completing 77.2. I'm sorry, QBRs. I read that wrong. QBRs has a higher QBR than Dylan. Dylan's QBR is 77.2. Aiden's is 78.8. What intrigues you about this quarterback matchup this weekend, Jake?
Well, it has a lot to do with Nebraska's defense, maybe even more so than Aiden Childs specifically. What we know about him is he can run. He can do some damage with his legs. They typically run him maybe 10 to 12 times a game or upwards of that if they're playing against a matchup that might work against. I'm interested to see how many designed quarterback runs they have for him, and then of course how many he's able to scramble out of. But I mean, I think that's the most intriguing part. And they're just it's the path to get here to this day has been very similar. They've both, Aiden Childs is a junior, so he's got another year. He started a little bit at Oregon State before going to Michigan State last year, but both of them 13 touchdowns, 11 picks last year. And now to your point, have both made similar strides going into this game. So, we want more national attention for Dylan outside of the Patrick Mahomes talk, all that sort of stuff. You got to earn it. You got to win quarterback battles like this one. Because right now they're both pretty even on that kind of quarterback rankings across the country. This is one, an opportunity to take a step up. You might not get as much national attention as you would if you beat Michigan, but here we are. Aiden Child's a heck of a quarterback.
That's a fair point. Some Husker fans aren't thrilled with the way the national media has talked about Dylan. I agree with Jake's point. Just go earn it. Don't ask for anything to be given to you. And I'm not saying Dylan has, but go take it. Go earn it. Go take it. Don't give him a choice. Starting this Saturday. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming back for. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln. Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org.
The Nebraska Lottery announces a great new lotto game for our state, Nebraska Pick 4. What's so great about it? Well, it costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize, there are drawings every day, and you could choose from 6 different bet types. If you like Nebraska Pick 3, you're going to love Nebraska Pick 4. So stop into your favorite Nebraska Lottery retailer and play today. It's the game you've been waiting for. Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready to transform your body and your life in just 10 weeks? At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, our kickboxing challenge combines heart-pumping cardio, strength training, and proven nutrition coaching to deliver real results. Lose fat, gain strength, and feel more confident than ever. Spots are limited. Don't wait. Join the Next Barrels 10-week challenge starting October 11th and take the first swing towards a healthier, stronger you. Barrels Extreme Body Shaping, results, not excuses. Join today, fxblincoln.com. That's fxblincoln.com.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Austin Norman here. Join me and Jay Foreman for Old School, live from Cornhusker Bank at 83rd and O this Friday for their Customer Appreciation Tailgate Party. Larry the Cable Guy will join us during the show, and there's free food and refreshments. We'll be out there for the show starting at 3. You're invited to join us from 4 to 6 p.m. this Friday for Cornhusker Bank's Customer Appreciation Tailgate Party, only at Cornhusker Bank on 83rd and O.
Hey guys, it's Nick. It's time we turn our attention to week 6 of the high school football season right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Join Jay Foreman and I this Thursday night for Lincoln Southwest versus Lincoln Northeast as the 4-1 Rockets continue to fight for postseason position, this time against the 1-4 Silverhawks. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. with pregame at 6:45 p.m. And we'll bring you all the action from Seacrest Field this Thursday night at 7 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Adam Carricker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carricker Show. This fine program is sponsored by Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about the residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. Again, that is hamiltontel.com. Also, the Adam Carricker Show partnered with our good friends at Suizo Construction. We did an on-location earlier this summer. They took care of us. Great people, great company. All right, Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. That's SCHWISOW.com. You had something off the text line there, Jake. What you got, man?
Yeah, a few different things here. One says, ask Adam if he could tell us about his bicep workout. You had the biggest biceps in the league at one point, didn't you, Adam?
I love when people will recall stuff from like years ago. Like we're talking like 2012, my first year with the Redskins. So we were doing the podcast, Fourth and Pain, all right? And it was mostly pro wrestling. Then it became half pro wrestling, half football. And I was like, I need some sort of moniker. You know, Scott Steiner had the largest arms in the world or whatever at the time, the pro wrestler. I was like, I got the largest arms on the D-line. So that was my moniker that I ran with. That must be what he's referring to. Largest arms in the league? Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll just run with that. We'll go with that.
That's pretty good.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story, all right?
That's a good story. It says, I think another text here. I think the middle of our O-line is actually really good. Guard, center, guard. That they are built to run the ball downhill. It was catastrophic error not bringing in a downhill running back to complement Emmett, so I'll be shocked if we don't see Harburg take some of those running back snaps as a downhill back. He's one of our better players and being completely underutilized. He proves last year he's a physical ball carrier. Give him the damn ball.
So I agree he's one of our better players. I agree he's being underutilized. I would be shocked if we see him in this role. They're not putting him at quarterback because they're not taking Dillon off the field, and they're not going to take Emmett off the field, although they do have a special plan for this number 2 RB position this Saturday. We're not going to know what it is till we see it. Maybe that's it. Maybe it is Harburg. Okay, I like the idea. I just don't expect to see it, but I would be jumping for joy if I saw it. But then does that mean Carter Nelson gets the other reps at number 2 tight end? Haven't heard much from him this year, even though we know the talent is there. I don't know. I'm curious to see how all of this plays out. You think about the offensive line and some of the guys we've had come through here who did okay in college, but maybe surpassed what they did in college in the NFL, which is kind of rare to do. Guys like Nick Gates. And Matt Slauson had a solid college career. I enjoyed stomping a mud hole in him every day in practice. Yeah, take that, Matt. I saw the clip you put out on YouTube about 4 months ago. Get your facts straight, buddy. Love you. And Carl Nix was the guy who played well at Nebraska. I went against him a ton. And I was telling you during the break, I mean, this wasn't just a Pro Bowl. He was an All-Pro. So the All-Pro is the best 11 guys on offense and defense from the guys who make the Pro Bowl. Like, these are the best guys, multiple-time, perennial, all-pro type guy in the NFL. I mean, he did good at Nebraska, but not that level. And I went against him. I'll just be honest with you. There were days when he'd all of a sudden just grab me and lock me up, and I'd be like, where did this come from? And that was about 1 out of every 3 days. The other 2 days, he'd kind of get in his stance, and he'd look at me, and I could just tell, you're not exactly excited to be here. I'm not calling him lazy. What I'm saying is he clearly found his way in his process in the NFL. Why do so many of these guys discover that once they're gone? Why don't more of them discover it here? Because that's what we need. And frankly, it'd be better for them. They get drafted higher, they make more money. Any thoughts, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, it is a riddle that we'd love to see. Again, you know, and it is interesting. I want to see how this season kind of plays out. You know, with kind of the interior of that offensive line. Obviously, right now, the offensive tackles in particularly look like a spot that needs some improvement, or what did you call it? Not the strength of the team.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's fascinating. It has happened on more than one occasion and too much throughout Nebraska football. But at this point, you just sending guys to the league on whether they're undrafted and get a shot, get to the 6th, 7th round. Some of those guys, Nebraska just needs NFL players one way or the other. When are they?
But we're getting them.
Yeah.
When I tell you the W's in the win column are not matching the talent on the roster for a long time, the offensive line and the success that these guys, by the way, that's 3. When I asked you to name some, you're like, oh, that's a long list. There's a lot more to that list that went on to the NFL and played better at a higher, more difficult level than they did here at Nebraska. We have NFL players. We need them to play like that when they're here. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. I was like, what? We have them. They need to do it.
Well, I'm still not convinced we've had an NFL tackle in quite some time. The interior of the offensive line at times has been pretty good.
Did you know that every starting quarterback for Oklahoma from 2015 to 2023 will be starting in the NFL this weekend? Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams. Who was
Spencer
the kid?
Rattler?
Spencer, he was the kid who transferred. Gosh, there's 2 more. I'm looking at their pictures. I can't even. Jalen Hurts. There's one more. I can't even think of who it is. I don't know. There's no name, and it's just a number 7. I named 5 of them, but there's 6 that are starting this weekend in the NFL. And think about all the number 1 overall picks and Heisman Trophy winners that they've had, and then also when Lincoln Riley went to USC. That dude, when he went to USC, that dude's the quarterback whisperer. He just is, and it's undeniable with the top picks, the Heisman winners, and now guys starting in the league. He coached at one point or another every single one of those guys, by the way. Now that I look at those pictures, even though I don't know who number 7 is, I'm just going to say he coached him too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll see you fine folks tomorrow. Go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bones.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's hard to choose a favorite at Hog Wild, but I'd have to say it's their award-winning ribs. Hog Wild buys their meat from those who share their high-quality standards, then hand rubs each slab with their famous seasoning blend and slow smokes them over hickory each and every day for flavor and tenderness you're gonna keep coming